Hey everybody, it's super funny coming to you with my version of a PSA, I suppose. Kids are getting out of school, kids are enrolling in school. A lot of you guys know that one of my favorite things to do is headline galas and so forth, where raising money to help special needs and especially sending kids with and without special needs to proms and things like that. And while I don't fully agree with the modern model that's been presented for um, elementary, high school, and even college level, I feel that there's always room for improvement. And people ask me myself, oh, do you have a degree? Did you go to school, et cetera, et cetera? And the answer is that I did. I was not only blessed to go to college, but I was blessed to take martial arts at one of those colleges and study with Muhammad Ali's protege, who happens to be in the Black Belt Hall of Fame twice as the only female. So there's quite a few of us Wonder Women that are still out there, willing to teach people and elevate them and inspire and empower girls as well as boys, just to help everybody come together and do better together. And I have a funny story. People ask me how I got into comedy. You don't look like your average comedian. They're like, we're not complaining about what you were on stage, but you just don't look like our average comedian. So I tell them the story of how I had just left my ex and was a newly single mom and busted my butt to make things work and started praying, what am I supposed to do with my life? And the message I got was go back to school. So I decided to take some courses in public speaking so that I could get over my stage fright, if that's uh, believable, and take a course in logic, if you can imagine that, and also English, or rather creative writing, something of that nature. So the first day that I'm in my English class, our professor, who was a very conservative 70-something-year-old grandpa from Butte, Montana, which anybody who knows Butte, Montana, who's from Butte, Montana, knows how conservative that area is. So he asks us to write a piece introducing ourselves, our writing style, etc. And I don't even remember what I wrote. I just said a prayer, started writing on paper. I hadn't been in school for quite some time, so I was the oldest person in the class, if you can believe that. So the professor collects all the work and he's looking at everything, he's grading it. And he has my paper in his hand, and I can see because he's reading it and he's laughing. And he's standing up in the front of the class and he calls me out by name and he says, my, oh my, he says, aren't you a cunning linguist? Well, needless to say, all the 17, 18-year-old kids that are in this class literally fell off their chairs laughing. And the poor professor could not figure out for the life of him what was going on. So finally he's turning beet red. And I walk up to him and I whisper in his ear, I said, with all due respect, I don't care if you call me a cunning linguist, just please don't say it with a southern accent. So he's standing there and you can see he's processing the information in his head. And he's going, huh? Huh? And then the dude turns white as a ghost. And the whole class is still laughing, and he's getting paler and paler and paler. I thought the poor guy was just going to disappear in front of us. So I said, well, if I might humbly suggest, instead of calling me a cunning linguist, maybe you ought to just call me a verbal alchemista. And since my life from that point forward, dealing with cowardly martial artists that didn't have the covfefes to pick up the phone and call me and were trying to drag my name through the mud and thinking that my whole life busting my butt to provide an amazing life for my child was just a comedy of errors, I figured if people like that were going to be capitalizing off of our misery, I might as well get up, even if it happens to be in a amazing Supergirl bustier, and capitalize on it for ourselves so that we can continue to headline galas and other events to raise awareness and abundance for noble and honorable causes like helping veterans with PTSD, helping children with or without special needs, and also helping women to transcend DV and beyond. So, on that note, whether you call me a cunning linguist or a verbal alchemista, if you have an event coming up that you want to hear some unique, witty, and refreshing humor, Supergirl is just one call away. Take it easy, and I'll talk with you soon.